What the frick is that?
That there is what you would like to call a snail.
Where did you come from?
Well, I'm just a lot more knowledgeable on Mario enemies. Uh-huh. And why are you in my house? And what is this thing doing here? Well, this here's a Snellicorn. It derives from the new Super Mario Bros. Game for the DS. It likes the colder climates, so it's
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. Can you take it back out of my house, please?
Oh, well, you see, I can't really just take it out. That's not really how that works. What do you mean you can't take it out? Well, you see, this Snailcorn here is just one of many different species of Mario enemies that have been forgotten over the years and haven't been put back in another Mario game. So with nowhere to go, they kind of just ended up here. And unless you spread awareness about them in a video, they don't have anywhere else to go.
So let me get this straight. If I want this thing to get out of my house, I have to make a video spreading awareness on forgotten Mario enemies before they go extinct, or else it's just gonna stay here forever.
Yeah, pretty much. But hey, it's not all bad. I mean, look at him. He's kind of cute. Yeah, let me go write the script. Alright, you heard the guy. Let's get this over with. The Snailcorn's a Mario enemy that only made one appearance in the Mario franchise so far, that being in New Super Mario Bros. For the DS. And despite its looks, the Snailcorn is actually kind of smart. Well, for a Mario enemy, anyway. What I mean by that is when they walk around, they act like a red Koopa in the fact that they won't just blatantly walk to their death into a pit or something like that. Not to mention, they're also pretty dang tough too. Probably just a little less durable than something like a bully per se. While they can't be killed by straight up stomping or ground pounding them, they can be knocked off of platforms into voids and stuff like that to be killed, or just use like a blue shell and speed through them. That would also get rid of them. And even though they've only been in one game, they're also rare within that game. They only appear in the snow levels, specifically 5-3 and 5B, so you really don't see them all too much. Alright, there we go. Now that I've talked about him, I don't think I have to worry about this anymore. He should be gone.
Dude, we have a problem.
Oh, frick.
Where are you going?
Alright, we got some work to do. An albatross is, well, an albatross, just without the R. It's only appeared in one game ever, that being in Super Mario Bros. 2. And I think it's pretty common knowledge by now that Mario Bros. 2 was never even supposed to be a Mario game in the first place. It was intended to be a game called Doki Doki Panic, but that never fell through. But because of that, there are quite a few enemies that never survived to see the light of day past Super Mario Bros. 2. The albatross, of course, is one of those enemies. They would fly around the level doing World War II style bombing runs on Mario and the gang, dropping bombs at them at any chance they got. And while they could be killed using turnips like most enemies, they were unique in the fact that you could actually jump onto their back and just ride them through the level. In fact, in levels 6-2 and 7-1, it's actually necessary for you to ride their back, or else you can't complete the level. And while their Mario game history is pretty short, they actually have a pretty illustrious acting career, being in 10 episodes of the Super Mario Super Show. That's something, I guess. Tweeter is yet another Mario enemy that was from Super Mario Bros. 2, and once again, that was the only game that they were a part of. They're a very common enemy within the game. I would compare them something like a Koopa in the other Mario games. However, instead of walking around like most enemies, they actually just hop everywhere. Sometimes they get creative and sprinkle in a bigger hop in there somewhere. They also don't stop moving in a direction unless they run into a wall. There's not much thought going on behind that mask of theirs. Although I have to admit, I think they're kind of cute. They also appear in the Super Mario Super Show. However, they don't quite have the same acting career as the albatross, only appearing in 3 episodes instead of 10. So prongos are described as being Goomba-like creatures. And then they like directly compared them to a Goom Beetle. The Goom Beetle I kind of see. I don't really see the Goomba too much out of these guys. I mean, they're similar in the fact that once they spot Mario, they start chasing him. And I guess their footsteps do sound like Goombas. However, if they do catch up to Mario, they differ in the fact that they proceed to do a beautiful swan dive faceplant straight at him in an attempt to end his bloodline. But if they miss, they kind of just get stuck on the ground and you can easily kill them from there. So they're not that much of a threat, even though they do look kind of intimidating, I won't lie. These guys have also only appeared in one game, that being Super Mario 3D Land, which relatively is fairly new, but they haven't seen the light of day since then, so they've kind of just been left to rot. Buster Beetles have once again also only appeared in one game, which seems to be a common theme here. They appear in Super Mario Bros. 3, and they are easily mistaken for a Buzzy Beetle. I mean, they look almost the same. However, despite their similar appearance, they act drastically different to their Buzzy Beetle counterpart. Upon appearing on screen, the Buzzy Beetle will just take off towards the nearest white brick block that they can find. Then once they get to it, they'll pick it up and then proceed to use all of the strength they can muster to heave this brick as fast and as hard as they can straight at Mario's dome. However, despite that, Buster Beetles are actually like super frail. They can be taken out just by stepping on them. Not even to the sense that you step on them, they go into their shell like most every other turtle enemy in this game, and then you can kick them again. They just straight up die. And unlike all of the other Buzzy Beetle line, they can die to fire. So they kind of just got screwed over there.
All right, how are we looking?
Whatever you did, I mean, it looks like it worked. They're gone now.
Okay.
Never mind.
Batidons are forgotten enemies that appear in arguably the most forgettable mainline Mario game, that being Super Mario Land. Even in their own game, they're pretty rare, only appearing in 2 levels, being 3-1 and 3-3. These guys hop around the level, crushing platforms and trying to flatten Mario in their spare time. However, despite their design, they can't actually fly, which makes sense considering they're supposed to replicate the giant statues found on Easter Island. Honestly, I'd be more surprised if those tiny and totally disproportionate wings actually managed to carry them somehow. Pile driver micro Goombas. Wow, that is a mouthful. Pile driver micro Goombas. Pile driver micro Goombas, like most other enemies on this list, also appear in one game, that being Super Mario Bros. 3. These little guys like to live in desert and sky levels and camouflage themselves by looking like bricks just scattered along the ground. However, once Mario approaches one of these guys, they'll scoot up a little bit and then spring into the air in an attempt to Goomba stomp Mario. But even with the bricks, these guys are still pretty weak. Assuming you dodge their attack, all you have to do is follow up with a jump of your own and they'll die. Kind of a waste of a brick disguise if you still die to a foot, in my opinion. But Cluck Booms are our first Mario Galaxy enemy, actually appearing in both Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. However, they only make an appearance in one galaxy per game. Dusty Dune Galaxy in Galaxy 1 and the Slip Sand Galaxy in Galaxy 2. These guys will kind of just hover around until Mario walks under them. Then once they get triggered, they begin to have like a giant spaz attack while flying around in the sky and then attempt to drop an egg-like bomb on Mario's head. The only way to take these guys out is to shoot them with a star bit, and then they'll get stunned and fade back towards the ground. And from there, all you have to do is hit them with a spin attack and they'll die. For the record, I kind of hate these guys. I was never a fan of them in the Mario Galaxy games when they were there. Honestly, I would be fine if they just stayed forgotten.
All right, we good down here?
Nathan?
Oh, for the love of... You have got to be kidding me.
Flurries bring us right back around to Mario Bros 2 once again, and they are probably the dumbest enemies that we've seen so far. These guys only appear in World 4, and they love to be in icy areas. However, there's one very big problem with this. Flurries don't have traction on the ice. So if they start chasing Mario and the gang on some ice, they have just as bad, if not worse footing, and will oftentimes end up sliding off an icy platform to their death. They are pretty cute though, so I guess they do get some bonus points for that. Diggas, besides having a very risky name that I have to be very careful saying, have only ever appeared in Super Mario Galaxy 2. Diggas don't even care about Mario's existence at all. In fact, they could care less if he's walking around on their property. All they care about is drilling, and drilling some more with nothing that can really stop them. Even given the right scenario, if there's a wall blocking them, they'll just drill straight through the wall. However, Mario can kind of just take them out by jumping on them, so they're not really that tough in the end and pretty easy to deal with. While they have appeared in a few side games such as Paper Mario and Mario Goes Missing, Dino Rhinos only have the luxury of being in one mainline Mario game so far, that being Super Mario World. These guys are big dino creatures that just chase Mario around the level and even have the ability to jump up small ledges to chase after him, which is surprisingly rare in Mario enemies. The only way to kill them is by spin jumping on them or jumping on them with Yoshi. Then once they get hit, they turn into a Dino Torch, which is just like a baby version of them, becomes faster, jumps higher, and can now shoot fireballs at Mario as well. Finally, we have Rip Von Fish, who is separate from every other cheap and aquatic enemy in the fact that he just kind of lazes around at the bottom of the water until Mario gets a little bit too close. These guys are only in Super Mario World, and upon waking up, they'll just start chasing Mario all throughout the water. They aren't particularly strong, as they can be taken out by a fireball or a superstar, just like any other cheap or fish creature. However, they differ from basically every Mario enemy ever in the fact that they are the only ones, I think, that actually run away from Mario when he's invincible. If Mario's swimming underwater with a superstar currently active, instead of chasing him, he'll literally just swim the complete opposite direction. Honestly, that characteristic alone probably makes him like the smartest Mario enemy in this video. Not that that's saying too much, but you gotta have something.
Dude, I think you got them. They're all gone.
Oh, thank goodness I'm finally free of this. Oh, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, thank goodness, dude. You know, it could have been worse. It could have been all sorts of different game characters showing up, so at least it was just Mario characters. It was not that bad.
Oh, come on!